Hello, can you
Good
hear me?
evening, coach.
Yeah, what's
I
going on? How
am
you doing?
so
Can you hear me?
sorry. I can hear you loud and clear.
Great stuff. How are you today?
Good evening. I'm good. I'm good. How are you, sir? I
I'm very
am.
well.
It's another live chat, and tonight I am really, really happy. Like I'm so happy because I have a very wonderful personality online tonight. If you do not know my guest tonight, I'm not sure whether you are in Lagos or you are in Nigeria. Okay, so I have Mr. Fola Alade tonight. He's a mediation advocate. He's a trainer. He's a chartered mediator. In fact, anything, anything mediation. Hmm? Just his just like his there's one of his slogan that says if mediation was a person it would have been Fola Alade. I love that. I love that slogan, and I'm also trying to like see how I can capture to fit my own area of expertise. So welcome guys, it's going to be a very wonderful chat tonight, and in case you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. We'll take your questions after we're done with the conversation. So tonight we're talking about 5 ways mediation can help your business than rather than a lawsuit. In other words, how mediation can help your business blossom, help your clientele, help your business grow better than going all the routes to the courts. And if this kind of conversation is coming from lawyers, I think everybody should just listen up and learn tonight. Okay, so I'm going to read the while I'm trying to know your profile. Please do me the honor of introducing yourself.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Fola Alade. I like to call myself a businessman disguised as a lawyer. Yes, I'm the principal partner of Fortefa Partners. It's a bespoke commercial law firm. We're basically into the business and practice of mediation. I'm also the founder and principal of Fortefa Mediation. Sorry, Precious, can you hear me loud and clear?
I can
Can you
loud
hear me
and
loud and
clear.
clear? Okay, great stuff.
Loud
Yeah,
and
because
clear.
I'm not actually because I'm not home. So I'm also the principal of Fortefa Mediation Academy. That's a Yeah. Can you please do me a favor? Can you be using filler words so that I'll know that you're there? Because from my end, it looks very good.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so
All
much.
right. All right.
Okay, so so I'm actually the principal partner of Fortefa Mediation Academy. That's a training academy where we train people, where we don't train people to become mediators, but we basically empower people with requisite skills to resolve disputes on their own. So in a way, the training academy is client centric. We focus more on the end users. So we're not exactly into the business of making people mediators because we believe that everybody is empowered with the skill of dispute resolution. So be it working in a bank, be it working in any establishment, we empower you with the skills to resolve disputes on your own. And one thing people need to also understand when it comes to resolution of disputes is that you don't necessarily need to be a mediator. You don't need to be a mediator to resolve disputes. So what we try to do is to basically teach you how to do that. Now, if at any point in time you develop an interest in it and you decide you want to take it a step further, you can now go to those other organizations for them to train you how to become mediators. But essentially what we do is just to make people have the skills to resolve disputes on their own. Then of course, apart from that again too, I'm also a mediator with the United Nations, UNICEF, UNHP, and I'm also a trainer and a facilitator with over 10 organizations, and I'm also on the on the board of training for SCM. It's quite a lot, but let me just keep it short. So for now, that's basically all I think
Yeah.
I do. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You basically covered my question 1 and question 3. So I will just go to question 2, which is how did you start your career in mediation? Because the truth is you are a lawyer and there are so many fields, there are so many places to choose from. And as it is now, picking a niche or try to build your expertise in a particular field in your industry is the in thing. So, want to know, how did you choose mediation? For those of us that may be interested, how did you choose mediation? How did you start your career in mediation? What has been your experiences and achievements so far?
So it's actually a very funny story because I started off working in a law firm, and that's Abdullah Ibrahim and Co. Now, for those in the litigation world, Abdullah Ibrahim and Co. is one of the very few law firms with the highest number of sitting SCNs in Nigeria. Well, before the founder passed on, there were 5 SCNs there. So I was strictly into litigation, core litigation. I didn't do any other thing apart from litigation for the first 10 years of my active practice. So there was this case I was
Wow.
handling against, 10 years, core. You understand, across all levels, from magistrate court down to the Supreme Court. So there was this particular case I was handling against a commercial institution. And I remember going to court that day, and they told me they had referred the case to mediation. I was so upset. I was like, what is meditation? Who would refer my case? I didn't file any application. I didn't file anything. And one thing about lawyers in practice is that, we always get energy.
Ah,
You
yeah.
know that energy did. So I actually went. And because it was actually referred to mediation by court. Of course, we had to obey the orders of the court. But trust me, I went there with the intention of scuttling everything. So you can imagine my surprise that I've been handling that matter for the past 3 years, this less adjournments and all of that. And in less than 6 hours, it was like witchcraft. This mediator, every time I try to teach, I always use her as an example. I always give kudos to her, Mr. Sarame Ezekiel. In less than 6 hours, she was able to resolve that dispute. I was amazed. I'd never seen anything. Can you hear me clearly?
Very well.
Okay, great. I'd never seen anything like that before in my life. Then, and I started digging. I was like, what is meditation? I was like, I was calling mediation meditation. I started digging and I found out about, then I told my boss about it. Then I think he now saw an SMS from Mr. Valentino saying this was in 2015, saying that they were training lawyers to become mediation advocates. And of course, I went in there. I happened to be one of the first set of lawyers trained as mediation advocates in 2015. Then, as soon as I finished that course, I knew I had found my purpose in life. Trust me, you know how it is like when you meet someone and you know that, man, this is it. 2015, I finished my 27. 20, it was a call in 2017. I became a mediator with the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, and guess what? I resigned and I said to myself in 2017 that, fella, I'm going full time into mediation. And I remember what somebody said to me when I said I was going to. He said, fella, you are going to go hungry. I said, why? He said, you are going into an arena nobody's going into. How do you want to make money from mediation? I said, just wait, watch and see. He said, okay, fine. I've never heard of anybody having a bespoke practice in mediation. And at that point, I smiled because I knew I was going to mediation with a purpose. I knew I was going to mediation with a vision. And I said, watch me in less than 5 years and let's revisit this conversation. And that was basically how we started off from there. So between 2017 and 2019, I started attending series of trainings on mediation, on the business of anything, basically empowering myself with the knowledge of mediation. And from there, I was like a man on fire, just accumulating knowledge, trying to gain visibility. And one thing I know I did was that from the beginning, I leveraged heavily on technology. Because I remember in 2015 when I Googled mediation, 2017, when I Googled mediation to know the people that were blogging on mediation, there was nobody talking about mediation. I was excited. I said, correct, this is where I should be. You understand? Nobody's blogging about mediation. Nobody's talking about mediation. So I just made up my mind that, look, you know what? I'm going to leverage heavily on technology and use technology. So what I basically did was to have a technology firm that deals with mediation. So my law firm, when I started, was basically technologically driven, and I think that is one of the things that has given me the visibility that I have today because I leveraged heavily on it. So I think I'll stop for now to take other questions, so I don't answer all your questions at the
I was even, if I can get this carried away, I'm just wondering what my audience, how my audience will be feeling. Okay, so mediation, meditation. When you said meditation, I just laughed. So, for people that do not really know what mediation is, so what exactly? We're saying mediation, mediation. What exactly is mediation, and how does it work in Nigeria?
So I'm not going to give an academic definition of what mediation is, because like I try to tell people that mediation is a verb, it's a doing word. So it's not like biology. It's not like Pythagoras theorem. One way or the other, we all practice mediation. So in not too many words, mediation is an amicable way of resolving disputes with the assistance of a third party neutral. Now, the third party neutral is usually called the mediator. So essentially what the mediator does is that he brings two parties together and helps both parties to facilitate an amicable resolution. That is essentially what mediation is. Now, mediation also falls under the branches of ADR. Now, ADR is a generic term for alternative dispute resolution. Now, people tend to call mediation, they say, I'm practicing ADR. ADR is like an umbrella body for mediation, negotiation, arbitration, conciliation, and the hybrid process. So mediation is a branch of ADR. So essentially, the whole gamut of ADR is resolving disputes without necessarily going through litigation. So that's, in not so many words, is what mediation is really all about. An amicable resolution of disputes with a third party neutral.
Okay, thank you so much for that. You practically almost answered the one part of the next question, which is how many ADR routes do we have? You've mentioned them, but we want to know how is mediation better off than, or the first question should be, is mediation better off than other ADR routes, and if yes, how?
So I think I need to also clear the misconception about one means of resolution being better than the other one. You see, the essence of mediation really is not to supplant or take over a particular means of resolution. Each has its own usefulness. Now, if you ask me, on a scale of a trajectory of some sort, if any dispute should come about, the first thing you should first of all do is to try and negotiate. What negotiation means is communication with the aim of persuasion. So where parties should sit down and try and first of all have a discussion amongst themselves. Now, if negotiation fails, you understand, the second phase you should go to is mediation. Now, with mediation, so because negotiation is probably just you and the other person having a conversation, you understand, and trying to see whether issues would work without a third party, Now, if that fails, because I always like to call it the NMA approach. So if negotiation fails, the second part you should go through is mediation. Mediation now is you trying to facilitate the same thing you're trying to do like negotiation. The only difference is that there's a third party neutral, which is why if you look at the definition of mediation, they say it's an amicable resolution of disputes with the assistance of a third party neutral, who is always the mediator. Now, with the third party neutral, the end product of mediation would now be both parties now trying to enter into the terms of settlement agreed on between both of them. Now, if mediation fails, the third step, are you there with me, Precious? Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, now if mediation fails, then you now move over to the third aspect, which is arbitration. Now, arbitration, for want of a better way to put it, is almost like is litigation without wig and gown, where an arbitrator listens to both. They listen to what both parties say, and the arbitrator takes a decision in form of an arbitral award. So now, if I now go back to the question you asked about whether mediation is better, the only thing I can say makes mediation better, quote and unquote, is because there is control in the hands of the parties. The parties can actually have a conversation, I like to use that word, amongst themselves. You don't have anybody telling you what to do or what not to do. It is party driven, Then there's so much flexibility, because if you come in with route A, if that doesn't work, you can do B, you can do C. There's a level of flexibility. And most importantly, there's an ownership of the process. Because I always try to tell people this thing. I say, look, if when you guys got into this contract, I wasn't there. You have a better understanding of the issues in contention. And really and truly, as lawyers, what do we really do? We look at the facts, then we look at the legal issues involved, and then we focus more on the legal issues. What a lawyer does is not any different from what a doctor does. You go to see your doctor, you tell your doctor you're not feeling fine, that you have headache, you have sore throat and all of that. The first question doctor will ask you is that, well, right now with COVID, do you have a loss of taste and smell? If you say yes, doctor will immediately know it's COVID and start asking you questions along that line. If you say you don't, and you say you're feeling feverish and all that, doctor will ask you second questions to know whether you have malaria or typhoid. That is how the job of a lawyer is. You tell someone, you tell a lawyer that you entered into a contract XYZ. The next question the lawyer will ask you is that, was there a contract? Was it written? Once your story falls within the ambit of a breach of contract, that is where the lawyer will avert his mind to. So you see, yeah, exactly. So each process has its strengths and has its weaknesses. But like I always tell people, you see, there is nothing like trying to have a conversation with your fellow person and trying to see whether you can have that issue resolved amicably.
All right, thank you so much for that. So we quickly move to the next question, which is going into the main question of today, and that is, what is the major difference between mediation and a lawsuit? Because you've talked about other routes of ADL, which obviously mediation is part of it, but we all know, or I guess my audience or our audience would know that litigation, everybody have an idea. Lawsuit, oh, I will sue you. We'll meet in court. My lawyer will come. So, what exactly is the major difference between mediation and a lawsuit?
Now, when you use the word lawsuit, it's like a generic term for litigation. Essentially, what that means is that you are filing an action against somebody for, I don't want to use the word enforcement of the right, but for you to seek redress. Yeah, that's the better word. For you to seek redress for a wrong that has been done to you. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I'm going to put it that way. That is essentially what a lawsuit is all about. You're trying to seek redress for something that has been done to you. Now, the thing about a lawsuit is that it's a one-way affair. You know, you're asking the court to do XYZ for you. The court will look at the merits of what it's asking you to do for you. If it falls, I'm trying not to, for the purpose of the audience we have here, I don't want to use the word. I don't want to use I don't want to go too deep into the burden of proof. Yeah, I don't want to use the word preponderance of evidence and whatnot. Exactly, I don't want to go down there. So let me try and simplify this. So essentially, what litigation, a lawsuit is trying to do is that you feel you are wrong, you take it to court. The court would have a look at the issues in contention vis-a-vis what your claim is. If the court agrees with it, the court will give a judgment in your favor. So more often than not, you know, and that is usually done by a judge who sits down, who takes that decision. Now, unlike mediation, you understand, and more often than not in a lawsuit, you don't exactly address the court. You get a lawyer to represent your interest in court. Now, the difference between that and mediation is that it is your case. Mediation deals mostly with facts, devoid of law. Now, the beauty about mediation is that you don't even have to be a lawyer before you go into mediation. If I dare say, and I'm still having this argument with some people, that I think non-lawyers make better mediators than lawyers. Trust me, because I'm telling you. Yeah, it's a conversation from experience. I tell people one thing that, look, you see, let me just quickly digress a bit. We all went to law school and were taught how to be gladiators. You know, we were taught how to that. So that's the learning we had. So now you cannot compare. So a lot of times, some of us mediators are actually very good. We had to do a bit of relearning and unlearning. You know, we had to take out the mentality of some things we were taught in law school. Now, can you compare that to someone who never even had to go through that experience at all, whose brain is fresh, and you had to teach? It's just like you trying to teach. It is easier for you to teach somebody who has never driven a car. You understand how to maintain a right-hand drive than it is for you to teach somebody that used to be driving how to drive a left-hand car. Because you see, there's always that confusion. Sometimes you want to, like, I have some friends when they come in from the UK. Once they are walking towards your car, they are walking towards the driver's seat. You're asking them, "Okay, what's going on?" They just tell you mentally that over abroad, that is where they sit. You see, that is how it is like with lawyers that are mediators. You always have to relearn. You always have to unlearn. You know, and that's it. So that's basically the difference between mediation and the lawsuit, or a better way to put it, than litigation.
Okay, so the main question of the day